Okay. Okay, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Village of Mamaroneck Board of Architectural Review meeting. Okay, we were waiting for one of the board members. He's just
Here-
signed on now. so-
Here I am.
So, obviously we're not live, we're on virtual Zoom meeting here. But if any audience members wish to participate, I'll try to remember to ask on each presentation if there's any comments, but if I forget, please raise your hand and Amber will allow you to comment, and we welcome your participation. That being said, I think we can get started. I'll introduce the board members to you. We have a full quorum today. There's Cindy Lee, Yvonne Levin, Barbara Ritter, Athena McKeish, and Andrew Wolowitz. And I'm the chair, Bill Binzer. To start, let's the minutes of the last meeting. Barbara's circulated those. Did anybody have any questions, comments, or clarifications on those?
All good. All good with me.
Okay, then may I have a motion to vote on them?
I'll make a motion.
I second.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, duly noted.
Nope.
Minutes are approved. And we'll proceed now to the agenda. And the first one I have here is 163 Highview Street.
I'm promoting the applicant.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Justine. I'm here with Tesla Energy on behalf of our applicant. Here for the Purcell residence, 163 Highview Street. We're proposing to install 48 roof-mounted solar panels. Are you able to see my screen?
Just,
Yeah.
No.
we can't see you either, just your name.
Yeah.
There we go. Hi.
Hello.
Sorry about that.
We've met you before, have we not?
We have,
Yes.
yes. So this
Several
is,
times.
yes. Are you able to see the rendering now?
Yes, we can.
So we have 48 panels. These are just our standard solar panels, pretty much maxing out the roof here with the exception of this front portion here. Due to the height of the roof and the angles, we're not going to be able to see anything from the ground. Let me know if you want to see anything else. I can show you this is the proposed panel layout.
I think it's fairly clear. Are these the same panels you showed like previously, the black ones with?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is just an example of one that was recently installed. It'll be the same panels as this, black panels, black frames, and then on the bottom and side, we'll have our side skirt to help hide the gap there.
Okay, can we take a quick look at the plan again, please?
Of course. With the exception of right here, we have I think it's a vent here. Everything else is just kind of following the line of the roof.
Mhm. And the mechanical stuff is over there on the right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody on the board have any questions or comments? Does anyone in the audience have any questions or comments?
I
All
do.
right.
Oh, wait, I do have someone who has a raised hand, Chris Pelletier. I'm just going to allow him to speak.
Okay, very good.
I'm not sure, Chris, if you're looking to give comments on this application. Hello.
You-
There you go. Are there any snow guards to keep from any snow or ice from sliding off of it?
At this point, we're not proposing snow guards, but they can easily be added.
My house is directly next to it, only a few feet away, and the house is a little bit higher. I have small children. I just don't want snow or ice sliding off of these panels where they would stick better.
I can check with design and have that added. That's a reasonable concern.
Perfect.
Yeah, snow guards are a very easy addition, so I don't
Okay.
foresee any issues there.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, is that something that you will, that we can state that you're going to be adding?
Yes, we can definitely. I don't foresee any issues there.
Okay, so then.
I just have a question. What does a snow guard look like? And are they actually on? Are they an overall? Is it on every single panel? How does that work?
They space them out so each row has typically, I believe it's 3 snow guards per panel. It might depend on the layout, on the orientation of the panel. They're metal bases that clip into the frame, and then it's about 2 inches of it's a black plastic peak that just sticks up. I'm not sure if I have.
If you did, it'd be great to see it. If you don't, it sounds like, does it pretty much disappear into the design?
It does.
You can't really see these from anywhere anyhow, so probably more
Not an issue.
not to dump snow on Mr. Pellegrino's kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do blend in because everything's black.
Okay.
Not sure that I have.
That's okay. It's the first time I've heard of them. It's good to know that they're available for
Yes,
safety.
and they're very lightweight. They're a few ounces each. Doesn't add anything. Actually, I have. I can reshare with you. I can show you. Here we are. This is just what they look like. Are you able to see that?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So they clip in, and then this would be a standard layout.
Mm,
So they
snow
just
guard.
make it so the snow doesn't slide off.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're very short, so they're not any. There's not really a visual impact for them.
Mhm. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Are there any further questions or comments?
Mm-mm.
All right, could I have a motion to vote?
I motion.
I second.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay. Then the carries, I assume unanimously, unless somebody's abstaining. Okay. And very
Thank you
good.
all.
Okay, thank you so much.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you for
You too.
accommodating the neighbor there. Okay, 169 Maple Avenue. Next.
Okay, it looks like that person does not have their hand raised anymore. Sorry for that confusion.
Amber, it's Neil DePasquale and Franz Tucker.
Are they the applicants for the next item?
For Maple Avenue. Franz
Okay.
Tucker owns the house.
So
and
It
Neil is
sounded
the-
like Bill was asking if there was anyone else who wished to speak
Oh,
on.
no, I moved on to say
I'm
the
sorry.
next one.
Right. Zoom just cut out really quickly for me. Yes, I will promote the applicants to speak. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, I'm sorry. I was trying to comment on the last agenda. I'm the homeowner for the residents with the solar panels.
Mhm.
I was just wondering if the Tesla lady is still on, if there's a cost to add those snow things.
Sure there is.
Okay, because based on where our house is, that side of the house, there's no, it's not a place that anyone should be walking, and it's based, there's a landscaping over there. It's not a place that kids would be walking on, so I was just curious about the cost and if this is only being approved if we pay to upgrade.
Well, as of now, that's the condition for approval, yes. I
You
mean,
know,
we can
we
withdraw
look
the
at-
approval. and-
yeah, I mean, I would like to comment there because she hadn't come on and we were based it on his word that his kids would be damaged by her roof, but I mean, we just really took his word for it.
Well, on the other hand, she quickly volunteered that it was not a big deal, so.
My hand was raised, it just, it got moved before anyone called, and so then I.
Right, right.
Okay, well then, all right, well then, I don't know if the Tesla person is still around.
I wonder if there's any way to call her
All right, well then let's,
in GP.
I can email Justine and see if she is able to
Okay,
join the meeting again.
Thank you.
And NGP, if you could identify yourself.
Oh, sorry, I'm Natalie
Thank you. Natalie.
Purcell.
thank-
Natalie Purcell.
okay. All right, well, a bit of a hiccup then, but anyway, so where we are is,
Neil is not able to get on, so for whatever reason. So if you could get on, I'd appreciate it, okay? Okay, bye. Hi, this is Franz Tucker. My architect, can you hear me, by the way?
yes.
Okay, my
okay,
architect.
hang on now, we've got too many things going on here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I know you were on and she put you on, but we had a little trouble
Okay,
connecting with
no
the
problem,
last
no
house,
problem.
who has raised a concern that her installer volunteered to put on, and I'm paraphrasing here, put on snow guards because of a concern by the neighbor of a health safety issue of the snow sliding off the roof to him. She is concerned about the cost. So I think backing up on that, I guess where we are is that we will defer approval until you can work this out with the neighbor and your installer, and then come back and let us know what everybody wants to do.
Well, can I ask a
I'm
question
sorry.
though,
It,
You
it's,
may.
Bill?
Yeah.
Which is, do we think like, is there anything architectural that is really in our purview about these snow guards? Isn't it really just building department, her and her neighbor?
Well, but no, it's not. We're not just appearance. We're also about, neighbors' concerns and, safety, well-being, all of those kinds of things get rolled in. It's not just appearance. So yeah, we do care about the impact on the neighbors in terms of economics and all kinds of things. So yeah, so if the neighbors are concerned about it, like we've had cases where a neighbor was concerned because the windows looked into their yard and we all
Okay, so Justine is
we
connecting now.
defrost the windows, that sort of thing. So yeah, we do care about things other than how it looks to the guy walking down the street.
there's no, and I can show you a picture of the side of our house where our property line is. There's no way they could walk off on the side of their house without being on our property. And that side of the house is full of landscape. And
Okay,
it's
well then, well, hopefully you can work this out with the neighbor then, and we'll defer it then to a subsequent meeting.
It's not a legitimate issue. We're not going to be able to work it out with our neighbor. He's trying to impose cost on us.
Well, then we'll have to decide at the time what's the right thing. We may have to go look at it ourselves. I don't know, but for now, we can't resolve this because we have we only have one person at a time here. We don't have the installer, and
So Justine just emailed me saying that she will be joining the meeting shortly.
All right, well, then let's put it all back and we'll revisit it at the end of the meeting then. Is the neighbor here too? Amber?
I don't see him on here.
All right, well, he'll need to have, I mean, we can't do it without him here too, because we have to give him notice again and everything that we're having the meeting. So it's unfortunate that the timing didn't work out, but everybody's got to be here.
Bill, can I step in? The neighbor expressed his concern. I don't know that I agree that his concern is one that is legitimate. And when there was no opposition, I think it was fine. We can let it roll off our shoulder. But for me, there's enough, if the Tesla lady comes back on and we have the homeowner, I feel like we can move this forward. It was a nice ask, but
Well, I don't
He
agree. I
shouldn't
mean,
be on our property.
he's concerned about safety. And we
shouldn't
don't
be on
know,
our
we frankly
property.
don't know if it's safe or not safe.
For trespassing.
We
on our
we had
property.
him arrested before for trespassing on our property,
Oh,
so it's an
this is a
agenda.
vendetta.
Well, that we
This
don't
is
know
not-
either. I mean, you know, we're
Okay,
not in a
but
court of law
when you
here.
For the
I don't
record,
see
it's
yourself-
not a
Oh,
legitimate
I'll
concern
put
that he's
that
expressed.
sentence.
It's designed to
I
impose
was
costs
put
on us.
prematurely.
And I could show where the land survey is. There's no way for him to be anywhere near the solar panels without trespassing again.
All right, well,
based on
I'm
where our
I'm
land
not going to get into an argument about it. We'll defer it until the next time around.
Well,
I'm so-
that was his objective, so thank you.
I don't understand why it gets deferred.
Because we don't have enough information to make a decision. We have your word, we have his word, we don't have facts.
What facts do we need to
All right,
present?
That's exactly it. Why
we
doesn't
can
he have
talk
a
about
voting?
this more at the end of the meeting if you wish, but for now, we're
Okay.
holding up other people. So let's talk with Mr. Tucker and all now, if we may.
Hi, it's Mrs. Tucker.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, that's okay. But Neil DePasquale, who's the architect, I believe, is available as well
Sure
as,
thing. I will look in the attendees in one moment.
okay, and Danny, who's the builder.
Danny. Okay. Is his Zoom name Danny?
Lazara, Lazzara. They should both be on. I hope. Oh, there's Neil and there's Danny. Okay, we're all, there's Danny. I don't know how to get my picture, but that's okay. Neil? Oh, can somebody unmute Neil?
Got it.
There we go.
There we go. No video. I see Danny. Hi, Danny.
Hi, Neil. How's everything?
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
No video.
You have to check your own video.
Yeah, I
There we go.
did, and it
There
worked.
you go. There you go. I'm here.
But well, let's try this.
Can we just go to share screen?
There we go.
There's Neil.
There we go. Oh, photogenic. Whoa.
That's good.
Let me bring this plan up. Can you all see that?
We cannot. Did you click the green button that says share screen at the bottom of the screen?
Hang on just a minute. Share the screen. There we go. And
And then you have to select which screen you're going to share and you have to hit OK.
then hit share. Here we go. Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Very good.
This is basically the site plan as we propose. What we're doing is opening up the property so that we're removing part of the asphalt here. We're reorienting this staircase to the basement. We're taking this staircase out. That will return that particular area to grass. The only thing we're adding is the rear deck that you see here. And we're also within the setback boundaries. Now, if you go further down, this is a picture of the deck that we're proposing. This area here, plus staircase to grade here. Now we're taking the staircase out here and reorienting the basement staircase. Inside, this is an exterior view of the deck. I hope you can see that. It's partially obscured by the panel. This is deck, follows generally the same line architecturally of the existing building. This is the other side of the deck. And then the inside the house. Let me see if, yeah. Inside the house, we're adding a bathroom, master bath, a closet. We're putting in a flitch-plate beam here and here for support. That opens up the interior of the house. And those are basically the only renovations that we're doing to the house. Do you have any questions?
One question I did not see on the plan is what is the material of the roof over the deck?
That material is, and I believe I have a picture. Can you see that?
No, we still see the plans.
Mhm.
So my question is, how do I get to share from here?
You may have to unshare and then reshare with the new images.
Aha.
Okay. I can, Neil, if you want, I can share a picture. I have, if you're talking about the standing seam roof, I have a picture of it.
Oh, so it's a metal standing sheet.
It's metal? Okay,
Metal.
yeah, I have the same
Any
question.
seam. And it's,
Yeah, it's a gray aluminum standing seam. Can I try to share a picture?
I wondered about that. It looked like it was metal on the drawings, but it wasn't labeled.
go ahead, Danny.
Yeah,
Let's see if it works here.
yeah.
You would have to stop sharing now. Oh, no. Okay.
Is that,
Can you see that?
Does it work? Is it sharing?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so that's,
we've
yeah,
seen
that's pretty much it.
Maybe now we can go back and look at the elevations.
So that's A200. This picture, let's see.
mhm.
Oh, maybe I can't share that because I don't have it. Hey, Neil, do you have A200?
Yeah, hang on.
I know I'm having, I'm bad with computers here.
There's your A200. Can you see that?
No.
Not yet.
Let's see if we can get the other, there's 200.
Still having trouble?
I just emailed it to this computer, so I might be able to upload it. If you give me a second, I can give it a shot.
Bill had them up there before.
No. The rover landed on Mars and I can't get this picture to load.
That was quite something.
I know, that's amazing. The helicopter and the rover. That's like,
Yep.
Neil, I don't think I can get it here. It might take me a little too long. I'll keep trying, but I think you might have to just try to reshare it.
All right.
And that's like, yeah, A200 is the elevations. I just have,
If you can tell me what the name of the document is, I can see if we have it in our material.
it's A200.
It's the basic plan set.
It's the plan set, and that plan set has the 4 elevations. So you can see how the roof line continues over the deck, and then I think the picture of this roof, the standing seam roof, you guys got that.
Is this the set that you're referring to?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So just go to the rear
Oh,
elevation.
scroll, yeah, you gotta scroll down.
Yeah.
One more.
There, yep. Too
No,
far.
no, no.
Back one.
No.
That's it. So if you see the bottom left picture, you see how that roof line will just kind of continue as the same, and that's on the house now.
Yes.
So up above the dark gray colored part is shingle roof.
Standard
Correct.
shingle.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it switches to the standing seam over the deck.
Correct. Correct.
All right. And
Now-
can I also ask what's going on? There's on the side of the house, there's a balcony that appears to doesn't seem to have any doors or anything. It's just a sort of a dead end kind of balcony. Is that what that is?
Yes.
It almost like a wraparound.
Yeah. But you can't get into the house from there or anything. Just
No.
Okay.
I'm not clear about the supports. Are those, how is it supported, this metal roof?
The metal roof, there's a wood framework that extends down to the deck. And then of
Are those
course,
vertical? I mean, they're real skinny
they're
supports?
4x4s.
They're 4x4?
Yeah, there's 6x6 down to the footings. 4x4
Oh, the footings, yes.
above the deck to the roof.
Yeah, the load point is going to come all the way straight from those pillars straight down to the to the footings, the foundation and footing. So there's no break in the deck.
So the spacing of those metal, vertical supports, Why are they all kind of all different? It's like so not a rhythm of any sort.
I think
Or-
if you see, so what happens, you see the bottom left picture on the elevation.
Uh-huh.
One pillar, let's say take the end pillar that continues straight down through the stairs, that's
Yeah.
straight down. And if you take the second one, that one should kind of be lined up. The third one is lined up. Your fourth one is random because that picks up another load in the middle of the deck. Then the right one continues straight down, and then you see another one after that, which is the last one. That's another one that picks up a center load in the deck. And then if you look at elevation on the bottom right, you'll see the three main pillars that come across. Those also, that's the corners and then the center.
Uh-huh. So the other elevation, okay. Let me-
Oh, and then, yeah, you can
it's
see
hard
the-
to read.
Yeah, I know it is. I
The
can't
rear
see.
elevation, you have like two. I see two, right? Two vertical elements. And then, okay. I'm a little confused with this roof because when you see the elevation, the left side elevation, and I see it kind of, does it wrap around?
Correct.
It does wrap around.
On the driveway side, it wraps around.
Yeah, but then it's not continuous. I'm confused. Or is it?
If you look, is there an above elevation, a bird's eye view elevation? Oh yeah, so if you look at A100, if we go to A100, we can see how the deck looks from the bird's eye. So I think you got to scroll one up.
Right. Well, it's not very clear in the elevation. You see, it doesn't show because this
It doesn't show it going around.
Right, because this is lower roof.
Unless it just hangs over, it doesn't turn. It just.
Right, that's why it's
weird,
confusing.
because how does that work? Yeah.
Yeah, I was confused about what it looks like, actually. And from here, I'm a little bit confused.
It doesn't, did you have a roof plan?
Yeah, can we go to the last drawing, which is from the top, looking down? You can see how the deck wraps around the house and then terminates on the house. We actually have a ledger.
But what does the roof do?
Right.
Say again, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
We can't understand what the roof is doing.
I mean, at least the elevation, it doesn't seem to be correct because I mean, I understand the rear elevation and I understand the roof plan, but then I don't understand the left side elevation. You see, there seems to be a different height.
Yeah, I understand. So it's not showing that there's an overhang. That overhang continues around
exactly
the side of the house, right?
Yeah, but how does it? I mean, on the rear elevation, it looks like it pulls up short or something. You see on the left, if you look at the rear elevation, it doesn't go all the way out over the deck. It looks like.
Yeah, you're right. It lines up
part,
with the other one.
Correct. It gets it gets extended.
So, and if it does go around, if it does stop short, I mean, what happens when it gets to I mean, what's over the part by the house?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it looks like really. We would need a little sketch or something because they don't work together, these elevations, right? They have different information to my judgment.
Does the original roof go over that overhang, that part of the
It
deck?
does, but it's a small overhang.
Right. So the metal roof actually is going to return all the way to the main house roof.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that doesn't really work because it's it's not drawn that way for one thing, and
right,
and then it would, I mean, metal standing seam roofs, the seams go all the way up. I mean,
Yeah, you don't exactly, yeah, it's confusing there.
You kind of can't really do it that way. So I don't,
Well, we can know, let's see how this is.
Hmm.
I mean, we can also leave that portion just open and just make the standing seam just that front part. Just the main roof. And
well, you said that well, the way it's
Ah.
drawn right now shows, well, I don't know if it's drawn correctly. Can you go back to the plan a second, could you?
yeah, right now, if you look at the on A200, the bottom right, so that,
Okay, the plan is up, Amber, go up to the floor plan.
Right.
Up one higher. There, okay. Okay, I see. All right, now go back down to the elevation. Okay, so that shows the walkway presumably is that area just after the end of the stair going back to that window. And then the roof, everything is just kind of pulled over there and held up by columns. That's what's happening, huh? So in other words, the lower part, if you had a plan, that lower metal shed part goes all the way to the end of the deck plus a little bit. And the upper roof also goes out that way. And if I'm understanding Daniel, it does that already. It covers that whole deck.
it doesn't cover the whole deck.
Oh, so you're going to change that roof as well then?
Oh, yeah, that's why it's
Yeah.
confusing. Do you have a photo? There's a photo that shows the rear, so that maybe
I don't know if
clarifies the
Neil
existing
has
roof.
one.
I guess the confusion is, yeah, what's going on with the roof?
Yeah, but it's weird because those things don't actually meet. They're so it's
Yeah,
not.
You said which photo?
there's a photo from the rear, and I if I recall correctly, that will show, hopefully shows the roof in the rear, at the rear of the house, the one that has the lower slope,
Okay.
not the deck roof, but the other, the existing one.
Okay. Hold on. I'm pulling up this. Okay.
Maybe this should just be, we should just wait for a roof plan.
Amber, can I email you the photo? Oh, here we go.
Have the
Here we go.
photos.
Yeah, I think try the rear, try the other one. This
Right.
one.
That
Oh,
one. And
okay.
second, let me
Oh,
change the view.
wow. Rotate view.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
So it would just,
doesn't-
where
So-
the right windows are, that's where the little wraparound is.
So
The window.
Right in here.
that means so you extended. So there's a new roof, portion of new roof.
Correct.
Okay, that wasn't clear.
Which
It
seems
looked
to
like-
hit that
yeah.
window up, the second floor window.
Yeah, that's not in the drawing either.
Yeah, no, let me see. It's not, oh, no. It's a little confusing.
Is-
Right,
That, it's like a dormer there, I guess, right?
yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Is there another picture?
Hmm.
No, it's not there. That's neighbors, right?
Neighbor.
Yeah,
Yeah, that dormer is
that
not
one.
there.
Can you rotate that one? Yeah, that's more. Ah, yeah, that's a dormer.
That's not,
It's
and that's
not-
not in the drawing.
No,
So maybe just read a new drawing.
Yeah, there are things that don't work. That's why, yeah.
Yeah, that the whole rear of the house is different than what's actually there. So I mean, are you talking
Yeah.
about taking down that dormer?
No, no, no. So imagine if you see where the, so you have the best, I guess, point of reference is the floodlights on the top left corner of that little addition on the house.
Mhm.
Okay, so imagine that corner, that wall face comes out, I don't know, about 10 feet, whatever the deck would be. And then on the right side, the deck would just return back into the house.
Okay, but then what
And
we
then
can
that
figure out
roof
is what's
line-
happening to the roof because
Okay, the roof line, that roof line that's existing now would continue to come out about the same pitch to cover the existing deck, standing seam, and on the right side, it would come out about that 4 feet or whatever that width of that deck is, standing seam. So it would look like an L shape kind of.
but if you
Columns
replace
all
the
around.
roof there over that addition, it's going to hit the dormer window. And then this other one that is,
Well,
Mhm.
we're gonna bring that secondary roof a little lower. The way it works out is, I don't know if you've seen the drawing, Neil drew it.
well,
It's,
the drawing doesn't have the dormer at all on it. That's what's confusing.
No,
yeah,
Right.
that's true. That's true. But if you
What-
look at the
May I
ele-
interrupt for a second? I thought that we had agreed that there would be no roof along that side of the deck where the dormer is. The
Oh,
whole,
that's possible too, yeah.
yeah, the only part of the roof was going
Ah.
to be the 10 by 10, whatever.
Correct, and that would be just that panel of
wraparound
roof
is
continue.
not
Well, I
gonna
think in
touch-
either case, we're going to need to, I mean, in order to stamp it and give it to the building inspector, we're going to need drawings that show what it is that you're actually planning to build.
Neil?
We
Yeah.
can do that. Yeah.
I think it just requires a roof plan.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, the
Yeah.
elevation,
well,
I think you need a
yeah,
rear
elevation.
and left side elevation as well that reflect it. Roof plan in those two elevations primarily.
Yep.
So that's, I think, what we would need. Now, it's in the back of the house, so I think, I mean, I would personally have some aesthetic issues, but since it's in the back of the house, your call. You know, some of it, frankly, the column spacings and so forth, then they seem very functional, but perhaps not so thought out as you might like, you know, for, you know, aesthetic purposes, but I don't think you're the only one who's going to see them, and, you know, so you're the one that has the impact of that.
I plan on putting lattice work around there.
Pardon me?
I plan on covering it with lattice work so that I don't look at the,
Oh, okay, well, that's not on the drawing either, so we couldn't tell that. You know, but I was just saying, if it were me, I would make the columns kind of evenly spaced, you know, call it the classicist in me, but that's up to you, I think, because it is in the back of the house. But I do think we need to see, I think we do need to have drawings of what you're going to build that the building inspector can look at and say, yeah, this is what you're building. That doesn't involve, you know, if you're replacing the roof, we need to know you're replacing the roof. If you're taking off that dormer, we need to know that. If it's going to hit the window in the dormer, we need to know what you're going to do about that. I mean, those things, you know, we kind of need to know ahead of time.
okay, but we are not replacing a roof. And we are
Well-
not touching that dormer.
Okay.
So
Um,
that extension,
I had misunderstood then what Daniel had said earlier. He had said that roof was going to be replaced and
no,
extended.
that extension was there when I bought the house a few weeks ago, and we're just bringing it out with the deck. And we're covering the deck with that, whatever you call it, metal roof.
Okay, but that again is not what's drawn. What's drawn shows that roof extending all the way. If you look at the rear elevation, it
Yep.
extends all the way over past the window.
Yeah, on the bottom right picture,
And so,
elevation is showing
you know,
that.
so that's what you're asking us to
Yeah, it's-
approve, but that's
yeah.
not what you're building. And then
But the
dormer
sketches
doesn't
show
come
that.
involved. So it's, you know, what are we supposed to tell the building inspector?
Yeah, you
That
can- you
drawing
can
to what you built.
You can see where, this is where the house stops. And then we're adding the deck and the roof.
I understand your words, but you understand that we have to have a drawing to put in the files that's going to be stamped and so forth of what you're going to build.
But I think the
Mhm.
right and left side elevations are pretty clear now. I understand if the rear elevation doesn't,
Right, yes,
match.
that's what he said. The rear and the left side elevation need to be corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty
Yeah.
easy fix. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, technically the right side elevation's not right either, but we're not really focused on that. It's really the left side and the rear and the roof plan, so we can see how this all works together, and then we have a final set to approve.
So, does this mean this is pushed back another 2 weeks?
Yes,
Okay.
so, you got to have the drawings to, it is, you want a building permit, and so you got to have a drawing of what you're going to build.
Neil?
Amber, who is muted. What is the deadline?
Well, so
March 2nd.
I can coordinate with you to make sure, as soon as you submit the drawings to us, we can proceed with scheduling with the next review. You would need to submit updated drawings.
I'll be ready on
I think
Monday.
he's asking what is the deadline to get it in to make the next meeting.
Right, so we don't lose the next meeting.
Right, so when it's a continued item, it may not be the same submission deadline. So I would need to look at the code to determine if it's 1 week or 2 weeks. The meeting is in 2 weeks, so it's not 2 weeks. But I believe it should be 1 week before the hearing. But let me confirm that in writing to you, and I'll send you that email.
Yeah, if we can accommodate him, to let him get back in with this, since he's correcting it and not resubmitting it. But we can-
Right. It's an updated. They're updated documents as opposed to a new submission.
Okay. We'll jump right on it. Get
Okay,
it done.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well. Moving right along. Next is 544 Oakhurst Road.
And just, I see someone's hand raised, Brian Crowley. I'm not sure if that's the next applicant, or is there someone who had a comment on the last item? So I'm going to allow you to speak, Brian. And you'll need to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, Brian Crowley, architect, presenting on behalf of the homeowners for 544.
Okay, so this is for the next application, 544 Oakhurst.
Yep.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, Bill, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Hello.
So as soon as I see a command to allow me to present, I'll go ahead and do so.
I'm sorry, what is it that you need?
Oh, I just like to share my screen with everybody. That's all. I don't see a command for that.
You should be able to click on the green button to share screen.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't see that command.
You don't see the green button, or?
Nope. Nope.
Okay. And what device are you on?
A Mac?
Okay, and if you hover over the bottom of the screen, there's no bar of.
Oh no, I do this pretty regularly. I'm just I see chat, lower my hand, and Q&A. I don't see the command to. Perhaps if you bring
Maybe
my
you have to
video
move
in,
the
I'll be
lower
able to.
the hand one.
So there's nothing disabled from your video.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah, I can share, so he should be able to share, I think. Well, maybe one of us can share.
Sure.
Oh, hold on just a moment, Brian. Let me see if this is the, now try that.
There you go. Okay. Okay. All right, and I will share. What screen do I want to share? This one, I believe. Okay. Can everyone see the drawings? The cover sheet?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, great. All right, good evening, board members. My name is Brian Crowley, architect, here presenting for 544 on behalf of my clients, Andrew and Rylan Carter. Here tonight to present to you modifications to the rear roof line of the house to accommodate a dormer, which accommodates a bathroom, to finish off their half-finished attic space. So just for reference, 544 Oakhurst, here's the park, East Basin, and then this is the parkway.
Mhm.
So 544 is down here. This is their home. The modification is on the backside, right along here. And from the streetscape, this is their house, some of their neighbors. Pretty, diverse neighborhood. Some Tudors, some traditional, more colonials, whatnot. I should give you a little bit of context. Again, all the modifications I'm going to present here, they're not even visible from the street. They're all on the backside of the house, which I can show you here real quick. So this is a picture of the backside of the house. And right up here is where the modifications to the existing roof line will take place. It's going to dormer off, about half of the back of the, intercept the ridge line, dormer out to accommodate enough space for a bathroom. So I'll show you here real quick. So here's a survey. Here's Oakhurst. Again, modifications on the backside. Existing roof plan, proposed area of dormer. This is the proposed dormer, and it's simply to accommodate this three-piece bathroom on the backside. From the exterior, all materials will match existing, cement plaster, slate tile roof, trim and everything will match existing, and there'll be 2 new windows added. Project also calls for the replacement of 2 windows in each of these bedrooms, which visually from the exterior won't look really at all different as, well, I shouldn't say that. They're double hungs now. They'll be replaced with casement just to get egress satisfied, but that's about it. And then this is probably the best picture you're gonna see. Existing roof line, existing rear elevation, existing dormer.
New dormer.
One for a shower, one above a toilet. And again, the design intent is for all exterior finishes to match existing. So cement plaster finish, vinyl windows, which will be consistent with everything else in the house, new slate roof to tie into existing, so on and so forth. And you can see from this section cut, if I were to kind of do this, that's kind of the existing roof line. That's the rear dormer. And again, that will occur right back here. That is the long and the short of it.
You have the elevations
to
of the
answer
side of the
questions.
house, just, you said those windows were being replaced?
The 2 windows. So if you look here, there's 2 existing small dormers with existing windows in them. This one actually has a vent. It's kind of like an attic vent, but it's using the same roof opening as a window. So that gets removed and that gets removed. You can maybe see.
I was just looking for a picture or an elevation or something.
That's one of the windows right there.
Okay, so.
Yep. And then the other one, it's almost a mirror image on the other side of the house. So that double hung gets replaced with the casement. It'll still have, an 8x mullion in it. So visually from the exterior, it'll look the same.
honestly doesn't look like it's that much help for egress.
Goes down to the roof below and whatnot. So again, from an exterior perspective, that's pretty much the project. Again, happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
Yes, Brian,
Yes.
the new dormer,
Mhm.
does it have the same slope as the other dormers?
The slope will match the,
Yeah, okay.
the main roof has a much steeper slope. This will
Yeah.
be very similar in pitch to the other existing dormers that are on the house.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
what I meant. Yeah, okay. And all the roof then is slate, right?
That is correct.
Existing and new, okay.
That is correct.
So right now, do those right now they just have the attic space, right? They're just building into it, the two bedrooms.
Correct. And a bathroom. The dormers to accommodate.
Yeah, and the bathroom. Yeah, right.
Yep, exactly.
It's very, very cozy, those bedrooms, I bet, with the headroom. I mean, they don't have much, just a small portion, right? That has.
No, there's actually quite a bit of space, to the peak of the
There
roof
is?
ridge, it's about 13 feet. So, as the cross section shows.
Oh, because it's very steep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As the cross section shows, there is.
Yeah.
We'll kind of be just making a flat. We'll be flattening the center of the roof just to accommodate some mechanical equipment to condition the space. But yeah, I mean, no, they aren't huge rooms. It's space they have to work with. So it's maximize
it's
what we
nice.
can.
Yeah. It's good use of it.
Any other questions or comments I can answer for anyone?
I don't know. It's probably me, but I'm still a little confused about these dormers. If I look at the rear elevation, I see these dormers sticking out the side, and I'm having a little trouble finding them on the pictures. I'm a little.
Sure. Here, I can. This might be helpful.
I mean,
if I go back to this. So here's the house, just looking at it from the front of the house.
Right there, I can sort of see the dormers.
Yep. So.
Okay.
This is a bedroom on the second floor. That's the dormer up in the attic.
Okay.
And then, the tree is obscuring the view from the other side, but it's essentially a mirror image on the other side of the house.
Okay, so it's probably just something the way the photo's taken, but when you look at that side picture you have, it confused me.
So this dormer here.
But this is
that dormer there.
Okay, so that picture's the rear of the house, I guess, is what I'm saying. Okay, I think I've figured this out now. Okay.
Yep.
This is labeled the picture of the left side of the house, but in fact, it's the back of the house.
So.
Okay.
Sorry, we're going back and forth. So you can see just a little bit of this dormer here existing.
I'm with it. I've got this figured out now. Like I said, I'm having a little trouble putting it together.
Again, the only exterior modifications being done, with the exception of just replacing these two windows, is what's being proposed right here in the center of the roof, back of the house, not visible from the street whatsoever. And that's what's being proposed.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. All right. Well, sorry to be a little slow on the uptake there. Anybody on the board have any further questions or comments?
No. No.
Anyone in the audience, Amber?
I do not see anyone who wishes to speak.
All right. There being no further comments, does anyone wish to make a motion?
Make a motion.
I second.
Any
Are you-
opposed?
No,
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you all very much for your time tonight.
Okay,
Thank you.
no,
Take care.
Okay,
appreciate the presentation too. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm sure we'll see you guys again. Take care.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. So, finally, 1025 Rushmore Avenue, the Orienta Beach Club.
Bill, do we want to handle that other one? I have a feeling this is going to be long. Do we want to let the folks who need to go again happen before this?
I guess we could do that because the other one might be long. Were they able to get their,
No, I don't see anyone on. I don't see Justine. I don't see.
No, Justine
I'm
is
here,
here.
Christine is there.
Here we go. Okay. Oh, I don't know.
The
I don't see
owner,
the attendees, sorry.
the owner?
There she is.
the
Promote
owner is not.
panelist. I do not see.
NGP.
There she is.
That's the owner.
Yes, yes.
I also
Hello.
brought some pictures in case that's helpful.
Sure.
Sure.
Can I share my screen?
Mhm.
Yes.
It's the neighbor to your right as you face from the street. Yeah, I see.
I already have a setback of,
You're muffled.
can you hear me now? Oh, hold on, let me take off my Bluetooth.
We can't hear you well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Perfect.
So can you see, I pulled up first our land survey, just shows where our house is and the 8.5-foot setback. So any snow would go into that 8.5-foot setback before you even got to that part of their house. And then also this photo shows also our land survey mark with that side of the house. And after the, within that 8.5 feet is a giant rock wall filled with vegetation. So there's really no one who could walk over there unless you were climbing up the side of the house.
I'm
If you,
I'm sorry, that picture's a little small. Is it possible to
Yeah.
enlarge it there? Can you slide that? There you go. For
Uh-huh.
the
so
house.
it shows where our land survey marker is. If any of his kids were to come over to our side, it would like almost 8.5, 9 feet. Plus they would have to climb this rock wall that's filled with trees and bushes. It's not even a safety thing to be climbing over there anyway. Plus with the overhang, and then there's window wells here now, or there will be, we're still in construction. There's really not a reason for kids, anyone at all to be walking that side of the house without trespassing basically and going into an unsafe climbing up a tree to get onto our side of the house.
It is sort of close there.
Yeah, well, their house doesn't meet the setback, but that's a whole different
Yeah.
problem. I mean, that's not. And then this shows the aerial view. The yellow line here is basically to show the where our property is and their property is. So you have the overhang, this whole section in the middle. Well, it's our property and then it's a rock wall.
You see a fence line there. Is that the rock wall?
The pink.
By where, like where it says 10?
No, this is the backyard. This is our fence. That's the backyard. The
I
front
assume
yard,
that's the property line, yes?
the yellow is the property line.
Oh, so your fence is well within the property line.
Yes.
And where's the rock wall?
It's right here, kind of this whole side of his house from right here. I don't know if you can see my mouse move. Right here is where his side door is, from here all the way to the front of the house is a rock wall. This whole section in here is a rock wall and then grass.
How does
And
he
so
access that? How does he access that side door?
He has a right here where the fifth, where I guess 16 is, there's a little door, and that just goes out to his backyard.
To his backyard.
Mhm.
But that's actually behind your house. I mean, that's not really where
Right.
anything would be
It's-
anyway.
No,
So-
not at all.
Hmm.
So was the approval granted with the condition of snow guards?
That, yes, that's what we had said.
Okay.
Let's back up to, the owner has raised a concern about the cost. Is the cost a lot? I don't know.
They're fairly fairly inexpensive. Without confirming with design, though, I wouldn't be able to give you, depending on what the actual layout they need. When I had looked at it originally, just due to all the snow, it seemed like this area was a little more open. I do agree with our homeowner. I think we have a very good setback, and it's kind of an inaccessible area unless you, like she mentioned, climbing over this wall.
We don't want to incur any cost to it.
Because that's what he's trying to do.
No,
Because
fully
it's
understand.
really it's just a neighbor who's unhappy with where the land survey.
Hang on a second. Okay.
The guy stepped away.
I gotta just step away for a second. Somebody's at the door. I'll be back in as soon as I can. Hi, sorry. Can you guys hear me again?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. So where are we here?
I do also just want to mention that the panels are set back a minimum of a foot off of the edge of the roof. So you also have that as a buffer if anything comes off the panels.
To me, this is a neighborly ask, and it's like a tree. It's a nice thing to have, but not something that we should be regulating. So for me, I am okay to move forward without them, and definitely hear the neighbor's concern, but I don't see a safety issue, to be honest, even if they are on the property. But hopefully they are not on the property, and there will be absolutely no safety issue.
All right, well, we can certainly vote on it. I guess my feeling is he's raised this concern and we sent him home thinking that we had resolved it. And he was comfortable with that. It doesn't seem like a major cost, but I understand that the owner doesn't want to incur any costs. There seems to be some disputative relationship here. And it does seem to me that, I mean, a large snowfall sliding off that house will easily go 8.5 feet.
No,
Just
Yeah,
go straight
right.
down.
no.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Chair, if I may, this is Assistant Building Inspector Dennis Trogan.
Yeah,
We can leave that up to the New York State Building Code if it is required. As of my just making statement right now, I do not believe it is, but once it comes before us as a building permit application, we'll take it from there and see if it is necessary by the New York State Building Code.
I think thank you, Dennis.
okay, thanks, Dennis.
Mhm.
That's fair.
Okay, I guess I still feel kind of uncomfortable that we don't have the, you know, the neighbor here who, you know, either we put up a sign so that he could come, he could participate. We told him one thing, we sent him home, thinking it was going to be one way, and now I guess I'm not feeling very comfortable about deciding something else, you know, without his participation, you know, without him, you know, having noticed that oh yeah, we changed our mind, you know.
I don't think though that it would be fair for someone to basically with an axe to grind just show up at a meeting with no evidence.
Well,
And-
I don't want to get into that because I don't know which of you has the axe to grind. I mean,
But I'm just
hear
saying
you,
there's no
you know.
evidence of a safety concern.
Okay,
If,
all right, well,
and he has no burden of proof other than just to say, I have a problem with it. So that just doesn't feel fair that we have to delay our project
Yeah, we
and
either
incur
have
costs.
to delay it or I have to incur additional costs simply because he showed up and professed to express the safety concern. I mean, what is his burden of proof? I don't understand how this works.
And then
No,
just signs off. Like,
unfortunately, we had a glitch where you weren't able to talk at the same time and your representative was not aware of the situation, so it couldn't be addressed. She agreed to allow to have these things before we were able to hear you.
right.
We,
I mean, my hand was
approved it,
raised.
conditioned on that, and then he left. Now, you put up that sign so he could participate and raise his concern. So my concern is that, you know, he's supposed to have the ability to voice himself. He thought it was resolved, and now we're doing something kind of behind his back. So that's
But
the
he
problem.
did voice himself. So
If you were here, if you were all here, we could talk about it. But you know, that's the issue. It's unfortunate that you weren't able to get on so that we.
Well,
could
I
resolve
was
it.
on and my hand was raised. I was
I
on since
understand. I
before the meeting
understand.
even started.
And that's unfortunate, but I'm saying I'm uncomfortable with where we are with that.
well,
I mean, he has a legitimate right too, that, wait, you told me you were going to do this and now I left and then you all got together and met again without giving me any notice and decided something else.
It seems fair to leave it up to whatever the New York State code is.
Yeah, and why don't we have a vote on it anyway? Let's have a vote on it.
Well, we can have a vote on it.
Who is the other
Listen.
person speaking right now?
Oh, that's my husband.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm uncomfortable with and not even sure. I'm not even sure if it's entirely legal, if you will, to be able to proceed without having the notice given to the neighbor.
Well, Bill, what would be the protocol that we would have to come back at the next meeting with everyone here to
Right.
go back over that?
Yeah.
When it was voted, it wasn't mentioned that this was a condition. It was just something we had
I
discussed. So
I
was
did
it
say that.
included in the vote?
No,
'Cause I had-
I clarified that. I said, are you willing to make that a condition then? And you said yes.
Yes,
Right.
if design feels it's necessary. I'm not sure if I didn't make that clear. Because at the, design will confirm if it's necessary based on the pitch of the roof.
No, you didn't say that. I explicitly did clarify that.
Well, my feeling is that when we come back, he's going to express the same thing and we would still be at the standstill. And I agree with Athena. That's really, I would leave it to the building department and the state code and just,
Well,
and
but again,
it's too bad. I mean, I don't see how going again will resolve it.
Well, I don't know that it will resolve it, but it will meet the requirement that the neighbor had a chance to, express his view.
He did express his view.
He did his read,
I know, but he didn't, but then, and we told him it was fine, no problem. We'll do it the way he wants it. And then,
Well, because we had our hand raised and we couldn't be heard from. In any event,
I
he
understand
expressed
that
his
as well.
concern. You've heard it. You've heard our response to it.
I'm
Again,
sorry. you don't get
I
along
ask
with
you
the
to
neighbor.
have a
I'm
vote
just
on it, please.
Thinking that it's just not, it's not right either way. It's not right that if, he's harassing you and you have to spend a cost however minimal to take care of the problem. I understand that's not right. On the other hand, if he is legitimately concerned and he's thought that this concern was taken care of and now we are, while he's not here present to hear about it, changing what we agreed to.
But I'm sorry,
That's
isn't
not
it,
right
isn't it
either.
within your purview to determine if his concern is legitimate or not? He's articulated the concern. We have now discussed the concern. We have shown you evidence, I think, that conclusively refutes the concern.
Well,
that he
I don't
had.
agree with that, but that other people can disagree with that, but
Okay,
that's,
well then,
that can be resolved as a code issue.
yes.
But that's not my point at all. My point at all is that you put up this sign, you put notice for the neighbors to come express themselves, and then
Yeah.
you're supposed to discuss it. You're not supposed to say, okay, we'll do what you want. And then when he leaves, when he's not there and has no opportunity to discuss it.
I don't know, I'm sorry, but I don't know how you can
Something
say we'll do what you want without having heard from the homeowner would have to pay for the cost of doing.
Well, we
so.
thought we were hearing from the homeowner.
No,
because
but you didn't. We had our hand raised.
Aware that you were not able to get on. We were trying that, but we didn't know you couldn't get on. Sorry about that.
No, we were on. I was on since 7:25.
I
We were
understand
on.
that as well.
In any event, if you hadn't heard from us and he has attempted to impose this cost on us and you vote on that basis, how is that fair? We hadn't had. any opportunity to
We
say
didn't
what
do it in a
we
vacuum. We were talking to your representative.
Who would not pay for it? It would be us.
Well, okay, but that's, architects agree to things all the time. That's what that's why they have a representative.
So Bill, can we either make a vote or postpone this? The back and forth, I don't think is getting us anywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
I propose to vote.
Okay. All right. Well, all in favor?
I recommend we
Well,
vote.
let me clarify that. We need to say, okay.
Mhm.
All in favor of, let me see how to put this. No, I don't know how to put it. Anybody got a suggestion?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to vote. Do we approve it as it has been submitted to us in the original form?
But with the building permit, right, will have to also be addressed.
And we also have to rescind our previous vote.
What? Dame un momento de votación para ver. ¿Qué querés? ¿Qué querés?
Okay,
All right, so who is in favor then of rescinding the previous vote with the conditions to accommodate the neighbor and revoting to approve it as it is, subject to a determination by the building department that maybe Dennis can help with how you say that, but.
Yes.
I vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I'm against, so is that 4-1?
I abstain.
And 1 abstain,
I'm-
okay. So 3-1 still carries. All right,
All right, so just to confirm, we've rescinded the previous approval. The approval stands as is with no snow guards, and we'll let the building department determine that.
yeah, as I understand it, and Dennis chime in here if I'm not saying it right, it is approved subject to the snow guards not being required as a code matter. Is that right, Dennis?
So yes and no. If you approve it, you can approve it as the design stands with or without the snow guard. So you're approving it the way you see it without the snow guards. If the building code requires the snow guards, that independent cost of the project of those snow guards will most likely certainly be under $10,000. So they would not have to come back in front of BAR again.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting they'd come back to the BAR for that. I was only, you know, stating that.
So we are.
So I guess you don't have to condition on it because it's automatically conditioned, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, Barbara, do you think you are able to write that down?
Ha, 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 ha. I'm going with approved and submitted.
You know, couldn't snow fly off any old roof with or without a solar panel is what I'm thinking also.
Well, of course it can, but most the solar
Slippery.
panel makes it worse because they heat up and it slides off.
Yeah, the slip.
And not in all cases is the house 8.5 feet away, and not in all cases has the neighbor raised a concern about the safety. And I mean, we have this issue of, you know, this kind of heat that she said they apparently don't get along well, but you know, we don't know who's.
This is why we have the New York State Code to fall back on.
All right, let's move on.
Right. Well, I appreciate your neighborly instincts. So let's move along.
Thank you all. Apologies for the mix up and
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Justine.
Have a good night.
good night.
Bye.
All right. So I guess we're on to Oriented Beach Club.
You're muted.
Hi, our team's joining up. I'm Elo Comfort. I'm the current president of the Beach Club. And tonight we also have Peter, who is our architect for the project, Mark Sheehan, who is our general manager for the club. Nunzio is our civil engineer who did the civil site design. And then I believe calling in, we have Richard, who is our landscape architect. So Peter, I think you were going to take the lead for us tonight.
I can do that. Good evening, everyone. My name is Peter Bossio. I'm representing Jefferson Group Architecture, the design firm for the Oriented Beach Club. As Elo mentioned, we have Nunzio and we have Richard as the part of the design team. I'm going to walk you through the proposed addition. It's a terrace along the southeast side of the club. I'm going to steal the screen if that's okay. Can everybody see that?
Not yet.
Yes,
Can you see that now?
Yes.
yes.
There you go. Okay, so this represents the design direction for the addition of the terrace and patio renovation off the back of the existing clubhouse. What we have is it's about in 1,134 square foot, what we're calling an upper terrace addition. It's going to be a concrete slab on compacted fill. The front of the patio or terrace addition is going to be stone veneered. You can see that in the rendering to match the existing clubhouse. We're proposing a flat or slightly pitched roof tying into the existing roof lines of the clubhouse. You can see that a little bit better in the photographs. So we're going to be connecting our addition along this southeast side of the club, again with a slightly pitched flat roof, stone veneer to match the stone that's there. We're going to be including structural columns that are going to be clad in PVC cladding. The railing system we're proposing is a cable rail system, lightweight cable rail system, just to try to keep things a little less obtrusive, again, because this faces the water. As part of this addition, roof addition, we're also going to be adding some skylights in the roof. Because of the depth of the addition, the terrace addition, it's about 12.5 feet. We were trying to make sure that the existing clubhouse had as much natural light back into it as possible. So we're positioning some skylights into the roof to try to bring back light into the clubhouse area. This addition allows for members and guests handicapped accessibility out to the back of the club on the main clubhouse level, which allows them to use the restroom facilities. The patio renovation is also going to be handicapped accessible, although that would not be back directly to the clubhouse. There are other restroom facilities that are accessible along I believe it's the east side of the club. Excuse me, the south side of the club. The dining area, dining capacity of the existing patio, which is all at grade level right now, is 100 seats. We're proposing to keep the same seating capacity of 100 seats. There'll be umbrellas and loose seating. As part of the addition or part of the renovation, there's a small service bar for the specific to the outside dining area. There's also a small waitress service station, which is also part of the renovation, part of the addition renovation. The roofing that's proposed for this addition is, like I said, it was a relatively slight pitched roof. We're going to be going back onto the existing roofs that are there. It'll be a membrane roof. It'll be black. We thought about using white, but just against the existing building, that just wasn't going to work for us. It keeps with the black roof shingle lines that's there now. We'll also, as far as lighting, what we're proposing are decorative wall sconces on each of the columns. We also have step lights inside the steps. You can see the stairs are stone, blue stone treads, and there'll be downlighting along the underside of the terraced roof area. The roof, the ceiling of the addition, we're proposing to use a beadboard with strapping. It'll be painted out white. All the trim will be white to match the existing on the clubhouse that's there now. Egress from the second floor, there are existing exit stairs, metal stairs to get down onto the roof. Those will be maintained. That's existing. And then exit off of that roof is along the, I believe, the north side of the addition, or north side of the existing clubhouse from those stairs. So none of that egress path that's existing will be changed or challenged with this addition. Let's see. South view of the elevate of the addition, which represents that facade right there. You can see that's the existing walkway. And the north elevation. This is what is where the service station is going to be. The patio is going to be the decking of the terrace is going to be pavers, porcelain pavers, 24 by 48, I believe they are, non-slip. The stair treads are bluestone, proposed to be bluestone off with the stone risers, and then the patio elevation is also going to be terrazzo pavers, 48 by 48 on a 45-degree angle. The landscape bed is along the perimeter edge. We have bollard lighting in the bed just as accent lighting. The ramp down, again, this represents the handicap accessibility back down to existing grade. We have a set of stairs because of the grade change along the north side of the patio to get us back down to the walk to the tennis, connecting back to the existing walk to the tennis. None of, as I mentioned earlier, none of the egress paths are being challenged or changed. The existing stairs that are there now existing conditions, existing staircase now, all of this will be removed. That will be removed. The existing windows will be windows will be infilled, and the terrace addition will be added along the east side of the building. That's basically the architecture of the addition. Didn't know if there were any questions at that point. You can answer them.
I've got a quick question, and also just to preface, I'm a member, so I don't believe I'm gonna have voting rights, but I'm still gonna ask a couple of questions. You said the seating is staying the same at 100. Does that mean it's coming out farther from the building?
The seating capacity is currently 100 seats. We're maintaining the seating capacity at 100 seats. It's mine that the patio is getting slightly modified. You'll be able to see it in this site plan. Right now, the patio is let's call it a half moon. This is going to be more elliptical in shape. But again, between the terrace addition and the patio renovation, the seating capacity is intended to stay the same.
It's a little hard to see. Is it correct to say that looking at that drawing, that it gets wider but not deeper?
Yes.
Okay.
What is the existing roof? Is it roof shingles or?
The existing roof is asphalt roof shingles, yes.
Asphalt, okay. And the new, what is it going to be again?
Because it's a low pitched roof, we're going to make it. We're going to use black membrane roofing.
Okay. Now I still don't see the elevation it's hard to see how it transitions to the existing shingles. I mean,
How
is
the
it
new
in the
roof
same?
transitions to the existing?
Yes, from the existing or the new, how, you know, when the transition
Right.
between the existing and the new.
Right, that one elevation, it looked like it runs right into the eave.
Yeah, it's not clear. The elevation is too small, you know, to look at it. And so I was wondering, even I know there are some sections, but
So the
we don't.
existing roof is asphalt shingle right here, which is over that bay addition on the
Right.
east side.
Right.
The membrane roof is going to meet that. Shingles will, because there's two different pitches. This is intended to be a less than probably a 1 in 12 pitch, relatively flat roof. This will lay on top. The asphalt shingles will meet and lay on top along that side. And the same thing is going to happen along this edge here, where the membrane roof will be worked underneath the existing asphalt shingles on the octagonal bay.
Okay, but see, when I look at the elevation, it looks nice, but I still going to see the existing and then the PVC roofing, right?
You will, but both are black.
Both are black.
Yes, the existing
It's
roof
going to be
is-
the same, but so it's not a continuation of that roof in terms of slope. It becomes, I'm not clear. Do you have a section that you could show us through there?
I think one clarification. That if Peter, if you go back to the elevation that you were just on. So on the right side and the left side, there are shingled roofs, but in the center, where there is kind of a skirt roof, we have an existing membrane roof that is there.
Oh, that's true. Yes. Yeah, I missed that.
Right. So between the bulk of the roof and where the new roof intersects the existing roof is
This is a membrane roof.
already membrane roofing.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
So that is black membrane, really?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
So you can see where
And
the
then-
asphalt shingles meets the membrane roof.
I see. Okay. You couldn't tell because from here, it looked like the same roof.
Right. Is that clear now with the photo?
Yeah, now, okay. So the other one will be a continuation in terms of same slope, everything, same material.
Does that
Okay.
membrane then continue all the way up to the ridge line on the right?
Excuse me? Excuse me?
On the right side of the house, the membrane roof there, where you see where it meets the asphalt shingles, if you go on up to the ridge line to the straight up, yeah, is
This
that
one?
all membrane? Where the
No,
hand
that's
is?
asphalt shingle.
Oh, so where does
The membrane stops right in this area right here.
I see.
Yeah, you see the different color.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 So the facial line,
I mean, so
the terrace addition, the facial line of the addition is going to match up with this existing facial line. So the
okay.
lines are the same.
Okay.
So it's not any higher. The facial line is the same. The roof line will, you'll see the roof line as it rises up onto the existing.
Could you maybe pop back to the rendering?
Pop back to the rendering.
Yeah, the rendering is meant to, it looks like it's horizontal, basically, right? You don't even see the
Well,
roof
the rendering.
in the rendering.
The rendering is more of a person view. rather than-
Pedestrian, yes, right. Okay.
So this is what you would see, because this is up at around 12 or 13 feet.
Yeah. And it doesn't slope much, so it doesn't really show, is what you're saying.
Well, you'd have to be down near the water line to be able to see that roof line lay back on top of it.
I have to look
Yeah.
out the window and see if I can see it. I live across the water from you.
You won't be able to see it tonight.
I mean, will it look good from the upper levels looking down or?
It's going to look the same from the upper levels looking down because it's the same material, same black membrane roofing.
Yeah.
We didn't want to use white, obviously, because of the, just
yeah.
first the color change, second, just the reflectivity of it.
Right.
We're not
Okay.
looking for any heat gain or anything because it's open air. There's no issues with thermal.
Is there an issue where there's an egress down onto that roof, but there's skylights in it?
No, because the skylights are on, the egress is onto the existing roof, which is back over the existing terrace, dining area and plan. So no, and I don't have a section unfortunately available.
Okay.
But
That's really more of a building department issue, I guess, but
right.
just
So
curious.
right now, those egress ladders land on this roof here, over the dining area, over the sun porch. Our addition is this is beyond that, outside of that.
Okay.
The roof skylights are in this area here.
Okay.
Egress on right now, egress off of that roof. You come down and you head to the north to get off that roof.
Okay.
You don't head off towards the patio.
Okay. I don't know if there's any comment from the public, but I was curious, since most of the public is the members, are the members all in agreement with the project?
Who are you asking?
Looking to speak from the attendees. If you are, please raise your hand.
If you are what?
Looking to speak. If
Oh.
any of the attendees are looking to speak, please raise your hand so that I know you wish to do so.
So the club's about 100 years old. In 2024, it'll be 100 years old. And this patio is probably about 70, maybe older than that. So it's kind of been on the target list of things to do to just refurbish the club and keep it in good working shape. So now is the time. We have the plans, and we're trying to get through the permitting, and hopefully soon we'll have a patio that'll last us another 50 to 70 years.
Hi, Elo. It's Cindy.
Hi.
How are you?
Nice to see you, Cindy.
Nice to see you too. Of course, I'm not able to vote either, but I think it looks beautiful. I'm excited, and I am wondering when this is all targeted for. Is it a year from this summer that it would be opening?
Yeah, I don't think that we would be able to start it until the fall. We would have to go through one more season. Depending on how permitting goes for us. I just don't know before we hit the summer season if we would have enough time to get it in. So,
Probably not.
yeah.
I think it looks great. I'm excited.
I have one more quick question. This is Athena again. I agree, it looks beautiful. One question I had is whether there was any consideration of putting the outside bar under some sort of roof, or if that was flexible. And I only asked that because you're building a beautiful terrace, and then, you know, like this year, for example, a little white tent went up over the bar in order to keep those guys dry in what was a fairly wet summer. So I'm just curious about that part of the terrace.
The bar is covered
I
with the
thought it
roof.
was, I thought it was
bar section
covered.
is covered with
Yeah,
the roof.
can you go to the rendering?
The rendering, yeah.
I thought it was covered.
Yeah, the
Yes, it
bar's
is.
covered.
The bar
If
is
you're
covered
standing
with-
at the bar, it's not covered.
Yeah, it is, it is.
So that's under that roof?
This is, this
Mhm.
bar, the service bar is underneath that roof, yes.
Ah, okay. I did not see that.
Yep, it's on the low, it's on
So
the,
that's set
it's on
back.
the patio level, but it's under the roof.
Okay, cool, great, thank you.
Mhm.
Of course, if it's blowing at all, it's gonna be wet, but okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Anyway.
So it is a seasonal bar, and if it's raining, there's a good chance most people would not be dining
Right,
on
right.
the terrace.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
All right.
Amber, there's no one in the community?
I do not see anyone from the attendees who wishes to speak.
There seem to be quite a few attendees, but nobody wants to speak. We're
If
pretty sure
you
here.
do, you may either raise your hand or, as indicated, identify yourself in the chat. I'm not seeing any.
Okay, there must be members wanting to see what's going on, I guess. All right, any further comments or questions from the board?
None. For me.
No, I think it looks good. It's an improvement.
Yeah, it's nice.
And we appreciate the detailed drawings and renderings. Those are super helpful. It makes this move much faster.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Am I the only person who can vote?
No, Yvonne.
No,
And I can.
no, I can vote too.
There's three of us.
Well, then I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, I
Well, you
second.
have to make a motion to vote, and then we vote, and then you.
Well, I make a motion to vote.
I
and-
second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Mhm.
Okay, approved. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good
appreciate
luck,
it.
everyone.
Okay, and
Thank
board members,
you.
just stick around for a couple more minutes after we're done.
Yes.
Cindy, you have to invite me for a drink now.
I would love to. When we weren't allowed to have guests last year, and it was my intention that we could all go have a drink there one night, but as soon as guests are allowed back, right, Elo?
Yeah, everyone get vaccinated, and
Yeah.
we'll do our best to open back up.
Yes,
Mhm.
it would be my pleasure to entertain y'all there.
Thanks very much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Bye-bye. Okay, and you want to then let us know when you stop the recording, Amber, so we can talk.
All right.
And start recording their party
We should have
chat
adjourned the
on.
meeting first, my bad.
Yeah.
Barbara, we're gonna,
Live stream
okay.
is back on if you would like.
okay, thank you. Motion to adjourn?
I motion.
Okay, anybody not want to adjourn? Okay, very good. Thanks.
All right, stopping the live stream.